Raise your hand if you have a dream. It can be anything, a job, an achievement, something you're trying to do. Now keep your hand up if you had to sacrifice something for that dream. In life, there are always challenges, whether it's trying to pass a course, trying to get that work promotion, or even trying not to hit the snooze for the fourth time on a Tuesday. For me, that challenge has always been peer pressure, changing what you do or even who you are just to fit in. It could be someone just asking for you to buy something at the trade fair. Maybe it's to take debate club with someone when you're really just wanting to cook. And sometimes it's to do something much more serious outside of school that can cost more than just $15 for a new charger. Let me take you back a few years, back to when I was still in Calgary, a kid on the butt end of every short joke written, with a Justin Bieber haircut who was less than popular. While kids were out together riding bikes and playing pickup games of basketball, I, on the other hand, was busy reading and doing math questions for fun. Yeah, I was that kid. If you need further convincing, the only time I was punished as a kid was for trying to play Pokemon on my Game Boy after curfew. When it came time to move up to junior high, which would be grade 7 if you're not sure, I was so excited for the first day, I didn't sleep the entire night. But who wasn't? It was the start of something new, where you get to choose some of your own courses, meet new people, and be one step closer to growing up. But it wasn't all to be expected. When you're in elementary, everyone is friendly. You can start a conversation with anyone, join into any sports game, and sit at any table with everyone. And everyone welcomes you with open arms. Yet, in junior high, you learn about these things called cliques. These cliques are somehow supposed to determine where in the social ladder you are. Were you in the popular group that everyone wanted to be in? Were you part of a sports team that impressed everyone you talked to? Well, for me, it meant finding my closest friend Marcus. While I had earned the nickname fun-sized by my peers, Marcus was quite the opposite. Being quite large, twice my weight and about 5'7", taller than anyone else in the grade, together we made quite a pair. But for younger me, that wasn't enough. Whenever I watched movies, I would always see the cool kids. You know them, the jocks, the kids who just didn't really care. But what surprised me was that these kids were the center of attention. Everyone knew them, and I was hooked. I think everyone here has had the dream at one point to just walk into a building and for everyone to know who you are and to really be noticed. And so, one night, I decided to become popular. From there, I did everything I could to fit in. I wore different clothes, focused on sports instead of academics, went out of my way to talk to those cool kids. Now, in economics, you learn about something called opportunity cost. I know I'm about to put everyone asleep, but bear with me. Putting it simply, it's what you lose when you make a decision. When I made the decision to jump the gap from being myself to what I thought I wanted to be, I didn't look at the opportunity cost. In this situation, it meant my grades dropping, and it meant losing some of my closest friends that I had known for years. I began to feel more like a puppet than a person. But wasn't that the risk that had to be taken? I'll fast forward a bit to what is known as high school in Alberta. That's grade 10, by the way. Marcus and I had really done it. We were the captains of the football team, and were finally popular. But it wasn't me who had done it. It was this other version of me, peer pressured me. This version was insecure, nothing near scholastic, and wouldn't talk to anyone who wasn't someone. But life as I saw it was great. I was finally fitting in. I was finally achieving the dream. Every day, all I could think about was training to succeed in football, to the point where I was in the gym or on the field for 6 hours a day. But one day, when I decided to join the rugby team, something happened. I was returning a kick when a kid, well, to be honest, I don't remember what happened. What I remember is waking up on the field with dead silence around me. I was concussed, blind, and I couldn't speak. So Marcus helped me off the field. with me mumbling random things under my breath. That moment can do a lot for someone. When you've almost achieved your goal, but let it fall short at the last second. I hated recovery, but it was obvious that my sports days were over. I begged and pleaded for my parents to let me back in, but it was final. My team had made it to playoffs. We had beaten the team that we were playing against in a match close before. When it came down to the wire, the last try they scored to beat us went right through where I should have been standing, and there was nothing I could do. I was so frustrated, I turned to my side and beat a metal pole. Of course, my hand lost the battle, and I still have scars. I went into a mass state of depression. The image I had spent years creating and making sacrifices for was gone in less than a second. I felt helpless with no one to reach to. My parents asked me if I wanted to go to Appleby, like my sister did for her senior year. But there was a catch. Because it was harder for boys to get in, I would have to go in grade 11. That meant losing 2 years with the friends I had made. It was a hard decision, but eventually I chose Appleby. Everything, as you probably know, was incredible. The campus, the courses, and the people were amazing. I'm still not too psyched about meatless Mondays, but one step at a time. But where did I fit in? The popular kids were all great at something, and I was just me. So what could I do? I once again went to peer pressure. I became the most agreeable person ever met. Whatever someone's opinion was, I would agree with it. Whatever joke there was, I would laugh at it. I gave in once again. Eventually, I tried too hard to fit in, and I started going to parties. You know, those moments when you get stuck between a rock and a hard place and you just can't make a decision. Well, this was it for me. It was either make choices I knew were wrong or be the odd kid out once more. I won't go into detail, but I was caught doing something I shouldn't have, and I was punished. Of course, punishments are given for a reason, in order to teach a lesson, but it did so much more for me than anyone knew. Instead of being angry for being caught, I felt relief. I was finally pulled out of the situation I was stuck in for so long. If it wasn't for that moment, I don't know where I would be today. I believe at that one point in life, everyone has a moment where they've decided they have to say no to something. And this was my moment. That was when I woke up and I decided I was done being a puppet. It was time to show everyone the giant nerd hidden inside me. The next transition was the most freeing feeling I had ever experienced. Like I was physically dropping the weight of the decisions I had made carrying on my shoulders. I got the glasses I had previously dreaded to actually see during class. I started wearing comfortable clothes that I enjoyed and focused more on studying than training. And lastly, I guess I decided to start going to church once in a while, not only for the religion, but to search for who I was. Guess that worked out pretty well. But more important were the conversations. I got to talk about things I genuinely cared about, to the people I genuinely cared about. Now, here's the amazing part. When I began to open up about things like art and life goals and my all-time favorite topic of dogs, there was a response that I got from someone that really put it into perspective. They told me that they only felt a genuine connection once I began to open up. I realized then, you may not be able to please everyone, but the people that you can be real around are beyond comparison. They're the ones you can turn to when you get a bad grade on your English essay, or when you find a fire video of someone addicted to dabbing, or maybe just when you need someone to be there. There's a quote that I love, and it goes like this. Friendship isn't about who you've known the longest. It's about who walked into your life, said, I'm here for you, and proved it. There are people in this chapel right now that have lived up to those expectations. I'm proud to call you not just my friends, but my family. And I love you all for that. So I'm going to leave you here today with a challenge. This challenge has 2 parts to it. You don't have to do it right now, or even today, but do it. First, I want you to look at who has really cared for you in the past, and to thank one person for what they've done. Nothing special, just to thank you. Second, I want you to write down who you want to be when the cards are on the table, and see if that's who you truly are now. Buying into what everyone else is doing around you may seem like a good option sometimes. And there's a lot of things that someone could set out to be. But if there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's that nothing compares to being yourself. Now, please turn to hymn 417.